Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing an altered tag, and just a reminder, use the 10% off coupon at the .com store. Just make sure you type in capital T, capital M, 10 to get that 10% off. Okay, let's get started. So I pulled out the oversized tag, and oddly enough, this is the smaller tag out of the tags that came up. And the first thing I wanted to do was find what pattern or what paper I wanted to use for the front and the back. So I found the particular sheet that I wanted to use, and because it's so big, I realized it probably was just easiest if I just trace the tag shape and then cut it out with my Holtz shears. They're the really long scissors that he created, and I just turned it around on the back side and made sure that I placed the tag where I wanted the pattern paper, because in different spots it had I think it was like jellyfish and stuff like that. So once I cut everything out and attached it to the tag using just glue and score tape, I decided to go ahead and lay down a layer of clear gesso. And whenever I'm doing layouts, any type of mixed media projects, I try and do the clear gesso, so that way anything I put down, if it has the opportunity to bleed through, you'll still be able to see some of that pattern paper coming through the image. Now just be careful whenever you're using gesso, embossing paste, any of those type of mixed media products, whatever you're using to apply it, you want to clean it off right away. Okay, so I still had a jar of water on my desk from a watercoloring video, so I just cleaned it out using that, and then grabbed my heat tool to dry the clear gesso. And it's just going to be a little quick. And mind you, I did speed this up because the video, I think before I made it faster, was like almost an hour, 2 hours, something like that. It was long. So once everything was dry, I grabbed the bubble stencil that was in the kit. Sorry about that. I was trying to find, sometimes I keep a palette underneath my work surface so I can do stuff like mixing with colors and stuff like that. But this time I just used my mat, and it's the Holtz mat, and I took the Sparks paint, the Mermaid Sparkle, and mixed it in with my embossing paste, and then I just went over the bubbles, trying to keep it as straight as possible and not move it all over the place. It was a little bit difficult only because I didn't want to tape it down, but I was I guess pressing harder than I thought, and it was moving it a little bit. But at the very end, I liked it because, you know, you get a little bit of a raised dimension using embossing paste with your stencils and stuff, and it just gives it added texture. So, and I liked how with that Mermaid Sparkle, it was really close to that color of the paper. I really enjoyed it. So while this is drying, I'm going to clean off all my stuff and, you know, come back and get ready. Now, right here, all I'm doing is kind of just laying out the netting, because I know my next step that I want to do once everything is dry is lay out the net with the embossing paste, and to create that textured layer using the net. And I know what you're saying, T. You're covering up the pretty, you know, water horse and all the stuff that you have down at the bottom. Don't worry, it's okay. We're going to be adding more pretty stuff to this. Alright, so I'm just laying down a layer of the embossing paste. And once I get my first little layer down, I start to press in the netting, okay? And then to get it to stay down, I go over the top of the netting and use more of the embossing paste. Now, I will tell you, doing this, you will go through quite a bit of your embossing paste. Thankfully, I have a lot, so I'm not too mad. I also have some crackle paste I could have used. Whatever texture medium that you want to use to keep the net down, that's what you want to do. And the main thing is to make sure that you let it dry once you have all your seashells in, okay? And to lay those in to the embossing paste, I did use some of the 3D matte gel. That helps secure it. And some pieces I just put into the already wet embossing paste, like some of the little, like the broke off pieces, I guess you would call it. And I just spread it around. There's no rhyme or reason. I knew I wasn't putting any type of a title or anything like that on this. I just really wanted to have a really beautiful kind of ocean themed tag. And down the road, I plan on doing the next size up tag and even the biggest tag using this, similar materials from the kit to kind of create a series, which will be another set of videos for another time. So now that I'm getting kind of to the end, because I don't want to fill up the entire area with all the seashells, because there's other elements I want to add and build up on this particular tag. So once I get the last few, and I notice that a lot of the ones that are at the end are starting to be similar, I just close up my 3D matte gel and I start grabbing some of my clear gems. And some of them have like they're made to look like diamonds. They have the little facets on them. Those I just pushed right into the embossing paste. And then some of the larger clear ones where they look like big water droplets, I used the 3-in-1 glue. And this one is really good. And I like the fact, one, that it's clear, so it works best underneath the glass ones. Or you can also use your glossy accents. So just keep that in mind. And really we're just, putting the glue on and pressing it down. And I like to add stuff as it hits me. There's always like a theory of doing everything in odd numbers. And that works. It really does. It's very eye-catching and pleasing. So keep that in mind, but you don't have to be rigid about it, okay? The best thing about artwork is that you can create, from within, whatever you want to do. At this point, I'm like, well, I like everything that's on there. Let's grab some color bloom sprays and see what we can do. So I picked a more blue instead of like the seafoam green, to try and just add some layer to it. And then to top that, I added some of this, I want to say it's frost spray. So it's white and a little bit of the blue, trying just to tone it down. And it's just a little layer of depth and interest, okay? Once everything was dry, I start grabbing some of the 3D stickers. We have bubbles, the coral, and jellyfish that we're going to be using. And I believe I even use the seahorse, one of the seahorses that are on there. And I'm just layering things, putting them next to each other. Just trying to make sure that you can still see some of the seashells and everything that we've already put down, but that there's visual interest, And you'll know, when you're doing stuff like this, you'll get to a point where you realize, okay, I'm not adding another thing on here. This is really good. Everything is laying exactly the way I want it to. It's finished, And I try stuff, and if it doesn't fit or I can't get it into a spot that I like, then I just stick it right back to the plastic. And just trying to show you the different areas. I tried that little piece, and then I think I even tried the fish. at one point, and I was like, well, you know, that would be super cute if you put the, what is it? It almost looks like, not Nemo, but you know what I'm talking about. I wanted to put him down, the fish that's on the 3D sticker, but it turned out I really didn't want it to be hidden, so I just put it back on the sticker sheet. And then I thought, you know what, let's add some flowers. Does it necessarily have to have flowers? No, but I liked how the flowers finished everything off. And for me, that was the ending thing that I just needed to make it be finished. You know what I'm saying? So once I lay it out, I always like to take a picture of something that I'm trying. I didn't show you on here when I cut back in after having it laid down. I had taken a picture of it and looked at it and decided, you know, do I like the way this is starting to look? Do I need to move anything? So definitely I like keeping my phone around, because sometimes when you do something and you're working it by yourself, when you take a picture, it gives you a way to kind of stand back from it and decide if you really like the way something is coming together. So we're just gluing these down. Once the leaves and flowers are all down, then really and truly the tag is done. Now we could take it up another notch and you could splatter with gold or some other color like black, you know, something to give it a nice pop. But I was really happy with this. I think right now I want to leave it here, and then as I do the next two sizes, I can figure out what I want to do, so that way they're all sprayed at the end the same way. So I grabbed some ribbon out of my stash, and this one is like a linen. And I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to tie it, if I just wanted to pull it through, if I wanted to double it. And I liked pulling it through and doing the knot this way, but I didn't like the way it looked from that direction. So I just flipped it, brought it through from the front, and then I liked the way, you know, that finished off the tag. And then I was going to fray the edges, and I liked it, but I don't know, it wasn't fraying the way I wanted it to. So hey, you try something, it doesn't work, what do? You cut it off and you keep on moving. So right about here I decide, nope, I'm not gonna do that. So I just trimmed it down a little bit more and left it with the short little ties, and the tag is done. And sorry for the camera, this tag is so big it doesn't fit. And I'm showing you the glaze again because I didn't use it. I thought I was going to use it, but you know, it's one of those things where I could always go back in later, add some to it if I wanted to. You know, that's the fun thing with these. You can think you're done, you look back at it later, and you can add more stuff. You know, there's always something else that you can do to it. So don't forget, you guys, if you want to order from the .com store for the month of August, so that's August 1st to the 31st, you can use the coupon code TM10 and you'll get 10% off of your order, and that's for the .com store only. The link will be down below, so click on over and see all the great supplies that Scrapbooking with Me is carrying, from Alta News stamps to, I think at one point we even had the Concord and 9th. There's a lot of great paper lines, Echo Park, Cartabella. There's so much to be offered there. So make sure you click the link below for the Scrapbooking with Me boutique online store. Thanks you guys, and have a great day.